Hello and welcome back to the channel. You're here with the Lone Wolf once again. Today's article is about dating apps and how they want you to stay single, preferably forever. I realise I've done a lot of reaction videos to articles over the last week or so, and I am going to be doing more meditation type videos and topical things in the next few days, so look forward to those. But today's article: no businesses are built to gain and lose customers. It's usually about retention. And this is from Max Langridge on Dimarsh. Ever since high-profile dating apps such as Tinder launched in 2012, we have rerouted our quest for love from bars, nightclubs and speed dating events to our phone screens. Users of these apps will have no doubt put themselves through the endless process of swipe, match, talk, ghosted, swipe, match, date, not successful, swipe. Oh, we can all relate to that at some point or another until we decided to throw them in the garbage. Being able to view who is single in our area without even needing to leave the bed or the couch has proven to be the ultimate inconvenience, something which only intensified during the past year. In a report looking into the future of dating post-pandemic, Tinder reports that it alone experienced 3 billion swipes around the world in a single day on March 29, 2020, just a few days after the virus was declared a pandemic, and went on to break that record another 130 times during the year. A sign that people were still just as desperate to find love or something for people to do when they were bored at home. You decide. I'm thinking the latter, to be honest. Instead of someone you don't find particularly attractive hitting on you when you're out, and you needing to either let them down gently or suddenly realise you left the iron on at home, you can instead just banish them away with a simple flick of the thumb. But are we to blame to succumbing to patterns such as those mentioned above? We can't all be that fussy when it comes to finding a partner, surely. Is there actually more going on behind the scenes of our quest for love than meets the eye? As Rebecca Toomey notes in her article, I think that's how you say her name, for Cosmopolitan, dating apps are ultimately a business, and businesses need to make money. In helping us find our true companion and subsequently deleting the app, a potential source of income is lost. Do they therefore want us to stay single? I would hazard a guess that they do, yes. They want you to stay on the app and stay addicted. It's like having drugs in your pocket with your phone all day, every day, and just whiling away the hours, wasting your time swiping. Naturally, the apps themselves hold on to the secret of their algorithms as closely as Coca-Cola holds on to its thirst-quenching recipe. Some users, this writer included, have long held the belief that the more active you are on an app, the more it recognises that, and so pushes you to the front of the queue, increasing your exposure. Failure to use it and the opposite happens, you're pushed to the back of the pile. This is actually true for Bumble, although you are given a 30-day window before you're deemed to be inactive. Look at this here. We have Hannah Berner. Online dating is 5% going on dates and 95% finding their full name, Instagram, LinkedIn, college, GPA, shoe size, social security number before deciding to flake on them. Tinder admits to adopting a similar practice, although it uses logic to determine whether you're genuinely keen to find someone. One spokesperson for the company told us, "We have found that being active on Tinder and where you live are the two most relevant factors to improve match potential." And that makes sense because if you haven't been using Tinder for a few weeks or months, you might not be interested in meeting someone new right now. Location is also a strong signal. We've seen that our members want to meet people within the distance they've indicated is right for them. But as for whether the apps only show you a fraction of the single people in your area remains unclear. Tech commentator and founder of the Technology Uncorked podcast, Jeff Quattromani, gave Dimarsh his 2 cents. It's a really interesting question, an ethical one for sure, as to whether dating apps want you to leave. No businesses are built to gain and lose customers. It's usually about retention. And that's common sense. There is a lot of evidence that suggests people are meeting their wives, husbands on these apps and living happily ever after. I don't know about that. I think I know maybe 2 people who are still in relationships with people they met on Tinder. What I would say from a technology point of view is that there is a strong chance, and many have been caught out by this, that dating apps are placing fake potential partners in your lists and in your DMs and even matching with you who are just bots. Yeah, bots have completely infested Tinder especially. There's so much spam on there and garbage that you must spend a good deal of the time just swiping through that rubbish without getting to anyone who's real. Dating app Bumble and hookup app Hood declined to comment on how their algorithms work when asked, and we're still waiting to hear back from Hinge. Rebecca cites tech expert Reese Maddock in her article, who made similar comments as Jeff. Most apps use collaborative filtering, which was first developed by Amazon. It assumes if you buy the same product as someone else, you'll also be interested in the other items they purchased. In the dating app world, the theory suggests that you'll be shown recommendations based on the preferences of others who also like that person. Oh, right, okay, so you're all chasing after the same small population of women then. Jeff continues, it's always interesting when a dating app launches and somehow there are millions of users registered. How did they get there? The use of AI and bots will keep you engaged, keep you on the app, and hopefully continue to pay for long enough that eventually a real human will match with you, and hopefully that progresses well. Assuming there are some dating apps out there that are genuinely trying to match you correctly, they will use AI to analyse every photo you swipe yes and no to gather metadata on what you most commonly approve of, e.g. brown hair, blue eyes, dark skin, etc. These characteristics might not all be listed in someone's bio, but there are plenty of tools that can read this information and more from an image. Eventually, you could almost be presented with the perfect date every single swipe, as the app is only showing you what you like. Being single is boring AF, being in a relationship is too complicated, talking to someone who is too frustrating. What is life? Okay. Even if this were all true and we were presented with the perfect person, how can we often struggle to delete the app altogether? Do the apps cause an addiction? Yes. Similar to that of gambling or nicotine. As Rebecca notes in her piece for Cosmopolitan, I felt sky high when someone hot likes me, but then 10 minutes later I want more. One isn't enough. I want so many matches, and yet I only want to be in a relationship with one person. It doesn't make sense. So why do you engage in it then? Why not delete it? It's certainly true that we all like to be liked, whether it be on a friends-only basis or something more romantic. Psychologist Dr. John McElhaney from Bournemouth University told Rebecca, feeling rewarded is a basic psychological desire. It's not really that complicated that making people feel good is a very powerful and basic concept. Look man, it's just pure dopamine release, pure dopamine, but you can actually get a dopamine release from doing other things that actually generate return for you. You know, if you buy a stock and you make a good investment decision and the stock goes up and it actually creates money for you and return, you get dopamine from that. But you've also, as well as the dopamine, you also have the profit. There's something there for it. Whereas swiping on apps, it's a waste of time. It's garbage. Could this desire for recognition and validation outweigh our desire to meet someone? And do we genuinely consider if it is actually a relationship we want, or do we just like to have a quick check just to see what or who is out there? With apps now offering features that allow you to find singles anywhere in the world for a small fee, although Tinder has made its passport feature free for the month of April, our curiosity as to where our future partner could be could know no bounds. Despite this, Tinder's report also surmised singletons ultimately want to meet someone who lives close by, perhaps again pertaining to the idea of convenience culture. Ultimately, answering the question, does your dating app want you to stay single, is nigh on impossible. But it could be we should be focusing on ourselves to find the answer as opposed to placing blame on the apps. Well, yeah, I mean, we can agree on that point. Just bin the apps off. Bin them all off. It's a waste of time. And let's see if there's any comments here. I suspect there isn't. No comments on this article. But again, I think the article just adds more ammunition to the argument that you should bin off the dating apps completely. Delete them, never download them again. Focus on getting outside into the big wide world. Develop all different kinds of income streams, interests, passions. Start reading more books, start reading more blogs. Get more educated. Take up another sport, take up a martial art, do something that is discipline specific and builds your confidence, builds your inner steel, your inner fiber, and build towards that, and just go pure lone wolf, and that's how I live my life. And I've completely dumped the apps a long time ago, very long time ago, because again, it's just pure addiction. It's just dopamine addiction to something that has a completely, I think it's for men, it's like a 0.6% chance of actually getting a successful date from Tinder especially. So those odds are pathetic, and you need to move away from this worldview that apps are sort of the only game in town. And what's the worst that can happen from getting rid of this stuff? It's going to make your life better. I guarantee you that. Thanks for listening, guys, and I'll see you in the next video.